Every time I'm in the street, I hear yak, 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 yak.
Ooh, what is crack-a-lackin' YouTube? This is your boy Deshaun, and today I wanted to talk to you about something that I thought was left in the past, but it is reoccurring as we speak. Now, if you're watching IGN or any major reporting agency, you all know that what recent news come out about the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One is about the definitive version of Tomb Raider, and how it is running natively 1080p on both consoles, but the frame rate is uncapped. And you know, on the PlayStation 4, when it's uncapped, the frame rate sticks around 60 frames per second, and the frame rate sticks around 30 frames per second on the Xbox One. Now, if you're like me, the first thing you thought about this news is, what the flip is the definitive version of Tomb Raider? I mean, am I the only one? I never played Tomb Raider back in the day. I heard about it. It was on. I seen gameplay of it on PlayStation 1 and stuff, but I never knew anybody that owned the game. I never purchased it myself, so I never paid it any attention. And yeah, that's what I first thought about that. So I was like, okay, I gotta look up what this definitive edition is, and what it basically is an a reboot HD version of Tomb Raider, whatever that, and it will be released on the next generation consoles. And apparently it came out on last generation consoles, but that's not the point. I'm talking about next gen. So this news doesn't come to as a shock to me, because for one, I know that the Xbox One is harder to develop for, and for two, it also came out news that two separate developing companies are making this one game. One company's making the PlayStation 4 version, one company's making the Xbox One version, and you know, the Xbox One version company is going to have Kinect support. The PlayStation version is going to have support for the touchpad or whatever and other stuff. So I mean, that's a smart move in certain ways, but still, we don't know if this is 100% true. I mean, we keep saying, oh, unconfirmed. I mean, it's confirmed on the PlayStation, but for some apparent reason, it's not confirmed on the Xbox One. So I'm just like, well, if it's not confirmed, obviously it's true. I mean, you don't gotta hide it, my Trigo. They probably just don't want to lose their sponsorship from Xbox One from saying, wow, this console really sucks. But yeah, my opinion on this is just, I don't really know if I can 100% trust this, because a lot of stuff in the past has come out that about, you know, the specs of the games, and it has been untrue. Like on the Battlefield side, it was supposed to be 1080p 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 4, but it came out 900p 60 frames per second. So we don't know. They could lower the resolution of the Xbox to 900p, but I don't think they're going to do that, because on the website it stated from a representative that their main goal was to get 1080p 30 frames per second, and anything past that is gravy. So basically, there's no way they're probably going to lower the resolution, and they're going to keep it uncapped just so they can try to push out as much performance as possible. They're not going to lower it and lock it at 60 or 30 frames per second, because for those people who don't know what PCs are and never play video games on there, when you play on a PC or when you play on a console, the frame rate is always locked at one thing. It's either 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. That's just the fact of the matter. The reason they do this is because they want the game to have a certain playstyle. If it's a shooting game and it's, you know, fast paced and everything, has to be 60 frames per second, because the slightest because if somebody has a little lower frame rate than you on a shooter game like Call of Duty, and they run up on you behind and on your screen they didn't shoot a bullet, but on their screen they laid your ass out, it's going to be a problem. But on like a Mario Kart, like a racing game, or Mario Kart, it really doesn't freaking matter what frame rate is. So yeah, that's why they have it mostly locked on most games. But on this game, obviously, it's unlocked to whereas the frame rate can go wherever it chooses. If you're like a small room with not much stuff to render in the background, it's going to be a higher frame rate. And when you're like outside and there's big explosions and there's a whole bunch of rain and freaking ninjas and everything, that's obviously going to lower the frame rate. Now, at the end of the day, obviously, I don't care whatsoever about this game, because I mean, like, who you know has Tomb Raider? And then one person. But yeah, that's basically all I really want to talk about. So yeah, this is your boy Deshaun, and I'll see you next time.